Right, here we go. Right, mate?
Oh, yeah, no, me, I'm fantastic.
Good, good. Right, so today's episode is going to be involving Resident Evil games, our sort of opinion on them, and we might even dabble in the Resident Evil movies as well, potentially. I think the movie section will be really quick. I think that literally can take like 20
Yeah,
seconds, to be
yeah,
honest. Right, so obviously we'll start off on the games first. I think that's going to be the most important and most enjoyable.
I agree.
Um, Right, so Resident Evil Zero that came out in 1996.
Resi 1.
Resi
Resident Evil
One,
1,
sorry,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah, because
original
yeah,
Resi, yeah,
cause Resident Evil Zero, there is a Resident Evil Zero that
yeah,
come out for GameCube, I believe, first. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
yeah. 'Cause
it's
that's
GameCube.
with Rebecca, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rebecca and Billy Cohen.
Yeah,
But yeah, Resi 1, 1996. I was only 2 years old when that came out.
I wasn't even born then. I was born 2 years later.
Yeah, well, I can always remember it being a
Hmm.
young lad, because obviously I was a bit too young to play it, but I always just watched my brother play it. And
Yeah,
I can always remember that iconic scene where you walk out the dining hall, go left, walk down, and you first ever see the zombie, and it goes that little cutscene,
yeah, that little
and then a
turn.
little turn of the head, and then that's always been burnt in my memory, days.
Hmm.
And I think that's when I first actually thought, yeah, this is because when I actually got a bit old enough to play it for myself, then yeah, I
Yeah.
just fell in love, especially Resi One. Like Resi One
Hmm.
is just a classic.
Yeah. No, I can remember. I think I was four, roughly. It was on the PlayStation One, and yeah, I can remember it was roughly 1 in the morning, and I can remember seeing my father playing it, and that scene. And I was just coming into the room when I could
Mm.
see the head turn, and I remember I sat on the couch and I hid under the blanket because it scared the living daylights
Yeah,
out of me. I
yeah,
had
it did.
nightmares for it as well.
Mm. Yeah, because at the time it was like quite. It was like you never seen anything like it, and like
No.
again, like my brother, he got scared of it because when he first see it, he didn't play the game for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Like, he literally stopped. He
Yeah.
literally stopped because before he'd never seen anything like it before. But
Mm,
then eventually he picked it up. Then I watched him play through it,
yeah.
and so to have that effect as well, that it's just burnt in my memory. Like, I'll never forget that, like ever forget that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, because there's certain things in life you'll never forget.
Mm.
But I think like that's such a successful thing as well, being able to burn a memory into our childhoods,
Yeah.
and it's a positive one as well.
Mm.
And even now, like I'm 27, um, and you're what, early 20s.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit more seasoned than that, but yeah.
Yeah, but like we can still remember it like
Yeah.
as if it was yesterday.
Well, it's nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think next year will be 30 years, I believe,
Mm.
which is
Like it's nuts.
is crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
But yeah, like to me, the original Resident Evil it's like the god, like it is for me anyway, the godfather of survival horror games, because for me that was like my first introduction of, well, storage management.
Yeah.
I'm still not good at it now, but
Well, that was the thing about the storage management as well. Like, if you
Mm,
played Chris, you had less.
yeah,
Then Jill, you had more. Because essentially how it worked was Jill was easy mode
hmm,
and Chris was hard mode because you had less storage. But Chris could take more damage than Jill.
yeah,
So it sort of balanced it out as well.
yeah. But yeah, no, I hold the
Mm.
OG Resident Evil very close to my heart. Like me and Metal, we're massive Resident Evil fans. I got a bunch of collectibles. Metal's got a bunch of collectibles as well. And we currently, we've just finished Claire A and Leon A playthrough
And
on
we have.
the Skill Issue Gaming channel. So make sure you check us out over on there as well. Um, but yeah, so out of 10, what would you rate Resident Evil, the original?
Honestly, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Because as well, they did bring out the director's cut for it as well, which
they
had
did.
extra little bits. I mean, the game's nearly 30 years old, so it doesn't matter about spoilers. But
Yeah.
it was like when Forrest, when you used to go up, I can't remember, and you go on the balcony, and then Forrest used to be there. Pretty sure in the original, when you used to collect whatever it was off his body, he never come alive. But in the director's cut, he did, and he was like this super zombie, and he
Mm.
come alive. But I think it might have been, I want to say it was a grenade launcher he got off him, or shotgun, something like that. He definitely got something off Forrest.
Yeah.
And I can't remember other little bits and pieces, but they changed it enough so it's his own unique game
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. And like to do that as well, especially for the time.
Mm. Oh
But
yeah.
but like I'd definitely give it 10 out of 10, like without shadow of doubt.
100%. Yeah.
Even
Like
but say even like the Resi remake, the one that
yeah.
came out on Nintendo. Was it Nintendo? Where did it
What
come
on
out?
the
Where did it come out on the remake?
or the
GameCube.
remake?
GameCube.
GameCube. Yeah.
GameCube. That's it. Not Nintendo. GameCube. Come out on the GameCube first. And even then, they stuck to the original,
Mm-hmm.
but added more.
Yeah.
Gave it that little bit of spice and kept it
Yeah.
fresh after all these years. And even the remake's like a 10 out of 10 for me as well.
Yeah. No, 100%. And an interesting fact as well. I believe it was Resident Evil the original. In Germany, they had to change the color of the blood to green. I think it was.
Oh, right.
Because obviously back then, a lot of the like, especially games like Manhunt and all that, they
Oh,
were
yeah.
getting banned in different
Mm.
countries, stuff like that. But yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Germany had to change the color from red, the blood anyway, from
Yeah.
red to green, which I always found quite strange. Because obviously a lot of countries have different rules and regulations and stuff. But yeah, I only found that out today,
Oh,
so I
right. Yeah,
can't say.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I believe I believe it's the
Mm.
original Resident Evil. Right, okay. So what's after Resident Evil? It's Resident Evil Zero, isn't it? Or was it Resident? No, it's
It'd
Resi
bring you
Two.
two. It'd be Resi 2. If you actually want to
Resi
go in
2.
timeline, it'd be Resi 0,
Yeah,
Resi 1, 2, 3, and 4.
yeah,
Because technically Resi 0 is just before Resi
yeah,
1. It sort of shows you, spoilers, it shows you how Rebecca gets to the mansion. Because obviously when you play
yeah.
Resi 1, you find Rebecca in the safe room.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you don't know how you got there, but if you play Resi 0, it shows you how Rebecca got to the mansion pretty much. Because she's not actually part of the original Stars team.
Yeah,
Like she's part of another Stars team because there's two Stars teams.
yeah,
And yeah, that's Resi 0. So if you want to go in timeline wise, it'd be Resi 0 first, basically.
yeah. Because that's how I think I got my little list here.
Yeah. We can do Resi 0 next if you want, then we go into Resi 2.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, so Resi Hero, Resident Zero. Yeah, so starring Rebecca and what's the guy's name?
Billy Cohen.
Billy Cohen. Because that is on the train.
Yeah,
I
it
believe.
starts off on the train, yeah, because Billy Cohen's a
Yeah.
prisoner.
Yes. Now, I got a sin to mention. So Resi Zero, I have never made it further than the train. And I haven't played it since. So from the train onwards, I haven't got a clue at all. So I'm gonna have to let you take the reins after the train.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played it, so it's a bit rusty in my mind, but I can remember enough. Like, don't get wrong, a lot of people don't like the game because you got to control two characters at the same time, and basically how you'd play the game was you just make Rebecca like your storage because Rebecca takes literally she can't take damage, but Billy can take tons.
Yeah.
But there's some parts of the game where Rebecca's got to do and Billy's got to do.
Yeah.
And it's quite unique though when it's like introducing you control two characters at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just literally play it with just Billy and just go through it as Billy. It's got a few bosses. If I remember, you go to a church at one point and you fight this giant bat, and it's quite annoying from what I remember. It's quite annoying, especially Rebecca, yeah, because again she can't really take any damage, so like you got to try and take it all with Billy while trying to kill the bat.
Yeah.
And what else? You got a giant centipede as a boss.
I can remember seeing that.
Yeah, you got a giant centipede as a boss.
Mm.
Oh, and the last boss is like this big leech creature. And how you really beat it was with Molotovs, because I'm pretty sure Molotovs in the game. I could be wrong.
Mm.
Again, it's been years since I've played it.
Yeah.
But like, overall, the game's all right.
Yeah.
Like, it's unique as enough, but like for me, I play it once every couple of years.
Because like the way you've described it in regards to Clay being the storage and then
Mm.
the other guy being able to take the hits, would you say then they took that formula from the original Resident Evil in regards to Jill and Chris?
I think they obviously tried to switch it because obviously with Jill and Chris, you can't be in both at the same time. You got to
No,
be
no, of
one or
course,
yeah,
yeah.
you got to be one or the other. This one, you got to it's it's very unique because you got to try and manage two characters at the same time while trying to play
Mm.
the game. Because literally all we used to do was put Rebecca in a room, then go off as Billy and play the game as Billy.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you try to do Rebecca, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 bites and she's dead. Well, Billy can take on like 10 zombies at once and be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I'll give it for its uniqueness again. But after the train section, because the train section can be a little bit annoying because some of the items are a little bit annoying to try and get, especially with
Hmm.
because you got leech zombies on there as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the first leech zombie, if I remember correctly, you don't even have to fight it. You just turn around and go back towards the stairs, and it
Yeah.
just automatically just dies.
Yeah. Yeah. Just sort of despawned.
But if you don't have like Molotov for those leech zombies, are so hard to kill.
Mm.
You just if you didn't, yeah, it is so hard. Definitely need Molotovs.
So out of 10, how would you rate Resident Evil?
Oh, I would give it probably about 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either by far. It's nowhere near
Yeah.
the worst. Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather play
Yeah.
Resi Zero than a lot of the other Resident Evils, which we'll get to. So
Yes. Right. Resident Evil 2 and the Resi 2 remake. Now, Resident Evil 2 is by far one of my favorite games of
yeah,
all time. And even the remake is just, can I just say to the people that made the remake, magnifique.
shame we didn't do it for Resi 3, but Karen.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was more of a cash grab, but yeah. But yeah, no, Resident Evil 2, I think a lot of people relate to Resi 2 the most because for a lot of people that was their first Resident Evil experience.
Yeah,
Um but again, Resi 2 is absolutely phenomenal. And even the remake, it was so nice as well because a lot of people were worried about the Resi 2 remake.
yeah, I was.
Um
I was.
yeah, yeah,
Like, again, I was a massive. Look, my favourite one, that was the OGs is Resident Evil 2. I played
yeah.
that countless of times. Because back in the
Hmm.
day, you had 2 discs. Back in the day,
Yes,
you had two
you
discs.
had to you had to play the first half
Yeah,
on one and the second half on the other, yeah.
but like, I played that.
I forgot about
Yeah, I
that.
played that, and they come with a booklet and explained everything, which you don't get
Yeah,
these days. But I love Resident Evil 2, the original. I played that. I think that was my first actual real Resident Evil I really played and
yeah.
got good at. Because then again, you got iconic. It's just full of iconic characters: Leon,
Mm,
Claire, Mr. X, Birkin. Because in the original, because a little bit of difference between the remakes and the original. In the original, the A story was just Birkin, no Mr. X.
yeah.
You only see Mr. X in the B stories, and it definitely, like, I can always remember a few incidences where Mr. X would bust through walls
Mm.
in certain situations and make you boo yourself, literally.
X gonna give it to you.
Basically, yeah. But
Yeah.
in the remake, they changed that where whatever side you play, you have
You have
both.
both.
You have
Yeah.
both. Early is obviously Mr. X. Then it goes to Burke, and depending on your play, because more Claire's more Birkin side,
Yeah, yeah.
and obviously Leon's more Mr. X side. Because
Hmm.
there is a little theory as well. There's 2 Mr. X's.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's a theory because obviously Birkin, spoiler,
Hmm.
Birkin does kill Mr. X
He does, yeah, by the elevator.
by the elevator. So if he kills Mr. X, how does Leon fight a Mr. X later if he's already dead?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So there's theory there's two Mr. X's in the RPD, one going for Leon, one going for Claire.
Yeah.
But obviously Claire's got Birkin. Well, Birkin's actually going after Sherry, which is his daughter.
Yeah.
But then for them to make that change, especially when Mr. X is always chasing you in the RPD. Obviously, I can remember when that first came out and it scared people.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Squeaky Shoes can be anywhere, and you can hear him coming on.
To me. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
you can hear him. You can see how you can. Oh, he's quick far away. Next minute's behind you.
Yeah, and I think it was such a nice touch not to have like a sudden jump scare with Mr. X.
No.
It was always the knowing that he's around somewhere, and then when you could hear him, it just adds to the tension, adds to the suspense, and it just keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that is what a survival horror is.
Yeah, it's bad as well because when you're in the RPD, you got those tight corridors.
Mm-hmm.
Where say if you don't if you don't kneecap the zombies or kill a certain few, you're gonna cause a lot of problems for yourself. Especially later on when Mr. X is chasing, you still got to get all your objectives done.
Yeah,
and you got Mr. X, the lickers, you got zombies. It can cause chaos.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I played through it was an absolute shambles. Because I thought, I'll do it on hardcore, I'll do it on hardcore. I had to restart and do it on normal. Literally, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just getting destroyed. Yeah. So I thought, all right, I'll just go back and do it on standard.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and like even with the remake as well, it's possibly one of the best remakes ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the Leon side, I love the Claire side, and I like how they do differ from each other depending on which story you go for. Like for example, on Leon, when you go into the parking lot, it's more dog, zombie and dog. Like a situation, but with Claire, it's more lickers, which I soon quickly found out. Check it out on the Skill Issue Gaming channel. But yeah, and I just love how it always feels fresh, even when you play it again and again and again. It still feels fresh because something new may happen or something you may have missed previously, stuff like that. And I think creating a game with replayability is a must, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, and especially Resident Evil sort of created for multiple play styles. It's created for speedrunners and for more casual, because the Resident Evil games are not actually long at all.
No, they're not. They're not.
You could, if you know what you're doing, you can beat it in just over 2 hours. Or if you don't, it can take you 12 hours. So that's the beauty of Resident Evil, where you can sort of take it more seriously, become a speedrun it, or just play it more casual and take your time and just go through it
and enjoy it.
Yeah, because that's one of the best things about Resident Evil as well. I forgot to mention is the atmosphere of Resi 2 and what they've done with the RPD and make that atmosphere. Obviously, the weather, it's lightning, and you got all the zombies on the outside trying to get in.
Yeah,
honestly, you've done a really good job. Because again, I was very skeptical when I heard it.
Yeah,
because obviously remakes don't really go down well.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But this one is again, both games for me are a 10 out of 10. Again, just 10 out of 10. Especially in the original, I always like the puzzles.
Yeah, that's probably one of my most frustrating, but yet most beloved for me is the puzzles.
Yeah,
because it feels satisfying once you solve it, and then you go, "Oh my god, it was that basic."
Yeah,
and because some of them are cryptic, but I do love the puzzle function. I know some people don't like it, and it feels like it sort of slows the pace down. But I enjoy it, and it just for me that represents Resident Evil as well as it's one of the core values for it.
And so with the remake and all, they do little nods to different puzzles. In the original, you used to go and get the red gems. Obviously, in the remake, they're not as important, but you still because you don't need to go and get the gems. That's a side objective, but the gem is to good. Obviously, get the stars badge. Again, that's all side. You don't even go and do that. You can skip that, which is still a nice little nod to the original to get the gems.
Yeah,
because with Leon, because I remember one, you used to have to go up to a fireplace with a painting. Because Leon had a lighter, so you used to get one of the gems that way.
Yeah, And like it's nice as well, like when, especially in the remake, where you can like the little nods they've done with the each of the main protagonists' desks. You got like Jill's desk, you got
Yeah,
Claire's, you got Rebecca's, and it's just a nice little touch and a
yeah. That's
little
yeah.
reminder of the
It's in the
original.
originals as well. When you
Yeah,
go to the Stars office.
yeah, because obviously you can see Jill's old
Mm,
beret.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just, and obviously a picture of a dog as well. But yeah, it's just a nice touch. But no, I completely agree. 10 out of 10, like without hesitation. Right, Resident Evil 3 and the remake. Now, Resi 3 as itself, the original, is a good game. It
hmm,
is a really good game. The map is humongous for its time. And the just sheer exploration of it is immense. And it's a little bit similar with Resi 2 with Mr. X. You got Nemesis chasing
yeah,
after you,
yeah,
which again, Nemesis is a cult classic.
yeah. And it's even more aggressive than
Oh yeah,
Mr. X. Like,
oh
do
100%.
not leave you alone.
Yeah, he's literally on your ass 24/7.
Oh yes.
Um, but the remake, what a disappointment.
Yeah. What?
Now I haven't played it through and through yet, Resi 3, but I've seen footage, I've seen streams, and it's nothing. It's practically nothing like the original at all.
It's
Um,
got its little bits, but
yeah,
it's missing so much, especially at the beginning of the game as well. Because in the beginning of the game, Jill comes out of the hospital. I'm
hmm,
pretty sure it's the hospital. Then you make your way on your way to RPD. Jill actually goes to RPD, and in the remake, spoilers, she doesn't go to RPD at all, not once, not
no,
one single time.
no,
Carlos
she's
does,
in the apartment. Yeah, but she's in the apartment when
yeah,
everything unravels.
yeah, because in the first part of Resi 3, in the original, like the first half of the game is fixing the train,
Yeah,
and you're getting all the bits and pieces while Nemesis is chasing you constantly. Like it goes on cut of hours. If you don't know what you're doing, cut of hours. In the no, I played a little bit Resi 3 before we started this because I thought, I was a little bit bored. I literally got the train running, ready to go in 30 minutes.
hmm,
Like that's with Nemesis chasing me as well. But it's again like Jill should go to the RPD because stars, you know what I mean, she's supposed to go to the
yeah.
RPD. But they can totally just left that out when Carlos goes there. And I can't remember in the original. I'm pretty sure we don't. He don't go into the
I
RPD
can't
kind
remember
of.
if Carlos does in the original, to be
No,
honest.
I don't think he does. But in the remake, he does. And also, like Nemesis, like obviously they changed the size of Nemesis. In the remake, he's massive.
Hmm.
In the original, he's not actually that big.
No, he's about what, like 7 feet tall, if that.
Maybe about that. Maybe a little bit
Yeah.
less. Because what Nemesis is, used to be a man. You know what I mean? He's a
Hmm.
mutation from a man, and that. And to me, like he's because as well with Nemesis, when you first meet him just outside the front, again spoilers, the game's nearly 30 years old, so it's over me mattering now. But when you first meet Nemesis outside of RPD, Brad Vickers is there, who was the pilot in the first game. You don't see
Yeah.
him, but you hear him.
Hmm.
And Nemesis kills Brad in the original, no, the
You had to not.
remake.
Yeah.
Brad dies by being bit by a zombie, which he
Yeah.
does anyway. He does get bit by the zombie, but later he gets killed by Nemesis,
Hmm.
and you got an option that comes up on the screen. You got to make a decision either fight or run. If you run, you go
Yeah.
straight in the RPD. Obviously, if you fight him, you kill him. Well, kill him. You knock him down.
Yeah. But you
You
get rewards for it.
Yeah, you get the stars badge, which can
Hmm.
give you like I think I can't remember what it gives you, but it gives you like I think it's ammo or something like that. But again, they totally because in the remake, Nemesis can get down by a grenade, like one
Mm.
grenade, and it downs him. In the original, you got to use everything to hit him down.
Yeah. Use
Literally
a tank.
everything. Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah. Because and that's the thing as well. They removed the option aspect of the game.
Mm. Yeah, they're touched because I can see why. Because they wouldn't really go with the flow. Because they obviously with the remake, there's a lot more action. There's like
Yeah,
non-stop, relentless action, 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 action. Because if you just have non-stop action, all of a sudden you stop. Or there's a decision you got to make. Obviously, it'll break the flow of the game. I can see why
yeah,
that, but to me, it's sort of what made got a bit of a charm. So when it come out on screen, you got a choice because it's like, oh no, what do I do?
yeah,
Do I fight the nemesis or do I run away? Because even if you run away, you're not safe because Nemi
yeah.
actually chases you in the RPD with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
He has a rocket
And
launcher straight away.
that thing
Yeah,
is heat seeking as
yeah.
well.
Like he has it like straight away because you go
Yeah,
into the RPD because as you go out the stairs, he dives through the window
yeah,
and he's got the rocket launcher there already. In the remake, he gets it about halfway through the game.
yeah.
He gets halfway through and he's got it for like 40 seconds. About 40 seconds. And it to me, again, they've
It,
wasted so much opportunity with the remake.
yeah. I think genuinely because on how successful Resi 2 remake
Mm.
was, I think they just went like, holy shit, we can make a lot of money if we do Resi 3. Boom, quick cash
But
grab.
my theory is that, and I think a lot of people said this as well, is they put a small team on Resi 3 to focus on the Resi 4 remake.
Yeah,
Because
it
then
makes
again,
sense.
Resi 4 was the most popular Resident Evil. Because a lot of people's first Resident Evil, especially sort of the younger generation,
Yeah,
is Resi 4. So that's my theory. They put a small team on with a limited budget and gone, right, here you go. You got
yeah,
X amount of time to do this while we go and focus on the main project, which would be Resi 4.
yeah.
Which sort of makes sense. But then again, a lot of the old school Resi fans, their favourite is Resi
Resi
3.
3.
Because it sort of changed it. Because when you had like, the Nemesis being so aggressive, chasing you through the streets of RPD, not leaving you alone for a second. And you got these different mutations as well. And again, the mutations are different from the remake to the original.
Yeah,
In the original, his second mutation is he's still Nemesis, but he comes shirtless, and all his tentacles comes out of him, and he's got his tentacles out. But in the remake, he comes like this hybrid like dog thing.
yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to sort out how to explain it, but he comes like almost like an animal.
Yeah,
Almost, he's on these all fours chasing you. But in the original, he's just still Nemesis, but he's got his tentacles out.
yeah,
And he can pick you up and throw you and slam you.
yeah.
You can literally pick your bone, slam you. And see,
I don't know why they didn't keep to it.
uh,
I really don't.
I don't get it because now I look at Nemesis when he transforms in the remake, and I find it funny because it's like,
Yeah, he turns into an animal, but
yeah,
not an interesting one,
no.
really.
And in the remake, it was terrifying still
Hmm.
because he's still Nemesis, but now he's got his tentacles out and he can grab you, pick up off his head, slam you. And as well, in the remake and from the original, Carlos actually fights Nemesis.
Hmm.
Once once you do the train part, you crash into like this into the actual clock tower itself. You actually go
Yeah,
into the clock tower, and there's a part where obviously Jill gets infected, and you got to be Carlos, and there's a part where you fight Nemesis as Carlos, and in the
yeah.
remake, I think Carlos has like a 30-second deal with Nemesis the whole game.
Hmm.
He hits him with that rocket launcher right at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I could go on for Resident Evil 3 for a long time because there's a lot of differences. Like the old petrol station blows up in the first 5 minutes in the remake. In the original, there's a whole fight there where Carlos goes on fights off loads of zombies because you get siege. Yeah, they completely removed it, but I could go on for the Resi 3 could be its own episode, no joke.
Yeah,
yeah, no joke. And like,
yeah.
when I see the Resi 3 like get announced for a remake, I was like, come on, that's got to be the one. Played it, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'd say out of all the remakes so far, it's the only one that I wouldn't say play that over the original.
Yeah.
You might as well go and play the original Resi 3. Like
Yeah.
Resi 2, like I love the OG, but there's no reason to play the OG over the remake.
Hmm.
In the slightest. Same as Resi 1, there's no need because they're that good. you don't need
Yeah.
to. But with Resi 3, play the original. Like,
There's more content in
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3 than there is in the remake.
It's a lot of people. I bet a lot of people don't know. There's an earthworm fight in the graveyard.
Yeah, they removed that completely.
Yeah, you fight this massive earthworm in a graveyard. I bet a lot of people don't even know about that. Like the people too new to Resident Evil anyway.
Yes. But yeah, Resi 3 so the original now out of 10, how would you rate it?
10.
I personally would, I would give it 9.5, 10. Easy.
Yeah, 10.
Easy. Remake, I've only played 20, 30 minutes of it, and already I find it's more lenient in regards to resources. It's more action packed than it is thing. I'll probably give it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
I've played both a lot. I haven't played Resident 3 OG in a long time. I'm gonna have to do that. I do have them on the PC. You can get them through GOG.com. They're not sponsored, but if you go on GOG.com, you can get the original free for like 20 quid. I think it is.
Yeah.
But we're not sponsored. Yeah, but like I've played a lot of the remake. The more I play it, the more disappointed I get. Because I look at little bits and pieces. But if out of 10, I'd probably give it. But to be fair, I will say there's a couple of good things for Resi 3. One, the dodge mechanic's really nice.
It is. Graphics are great.
Graphics are great. Two, I prefer the remake Carlos to the original Carlos. Because the OG Carlos is more like a kid. Like,
I get it. Yeah.
When in the remake version, he's a bit more harder, a bit more like seasoned,
mature,
a bit more mature. I will give him that. That's about it, really. But
yeah.
So out of 10, I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a decent enough game. Like, if you haven't played the original, it's still playable. It's not like it's a complete shambles. But I think you would be missing out if you don't play the original first. Because once you play the original first and then the remake, you will see the difference.
Yeah, and you'll see what people are saying about it a lot. Because again, like Resi 3's original so good. It's so good. Like, honestly, it may be 30 years old, but it's still better than most games today.
Yeah, easily. Right, now. So this was my first Resident Evil game I really sunk my teeth into, and this is my favorite. Code Veronica X.
Ooh.
I love Code Veronica X. I think it's fantastic, in my opinion. Also, I'm going to be really biased here. I know a lot of people don't particularly like it, but I would say the majority of the sort of audience of Resident Evil do enjoy it because you play as Claire Redfield, but you're not in RPD. You're on, if I can remember, you're on a prison in Antarctica or something like that.
No. You're on Rockford Island to begin with, which is a prison. Then you go to Antarctica.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, because for me, and again, similar to the original Resident Evil, like with the scene being sort of burnt into my head. For me, the scene that was burnt into my head was just seeing Claire with a lighter.
Yeah,
that is burnt into my head.
Yeah.
I love Code Veronica. It's one of my favorites, and I hear this getting remade. I hope the same team that made Resi 2 remake makes this. I really, really do. For me, it's easy 10 out of 10, but I'm biased. What's your opinion on Code Veronica?
I would say Code Veronica, out of the other sort of like their original style, like 1, 2, 3 Code Veronica, it's all in the same style as them. It's definitely the harder one. I'll say Code Veronica is definitely the harder out of them all. It's got 3 unique enemies, especially the stretchy armed zombies that can punch you halfway across the world. That can literally punch halfway across the world.
Yeah.
But it's got some cool characters like Steve.
Yeah.
Got Steve on it. He's pretty cool. A lot of people didn't like him because of his voice.
Yeah.
Because then again, he's a young kid. He's like 18, I think he is. Obviously, his voice ain't going to be the most manliness. But he was sort of like... I like Steve. I did like Steve. As well, Wesker's in Code Veronica.
He is, yeah.
Chris Redfield comes to Code Veronica as well.
Mm.
He comes
Yeah.
in a bit later. But I actually enjoyed it. Again, I ain't played it in years. It's
Yeah,
probably one
I haven't played it in
out of
20
all of
plus
them.
years.
It's probably my least played, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably my least played. I think I've only ever played it 2, maybe 3 times tops.
Mm.
But I enjoyed it. Again, it's hard. It's a lot harder.
It is
than the
really
rest.
hard. Yeah.
It's a lot harder than the other ones, and especially if, like you say, you start on the Rockford Island, the prison, and then you go to Antarctica because obviously you think you escape the island. Spoilers.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
guy, the villain, I can't remember his name now.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh, that's gonna bug me.
Yeah. But he's Oh, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
I'm gonna have to search this up.
Well,
This is bugging me.
because you think you're leaving the island, but then he puts the autopilot, and you go to there because there's another base. When they got in this, we go to Antarctica, which I can't remember. Because you had Alexandra, which was his sister.
Alexa.
Alexa. Is it Alexa?
Alexa, yeah.
What's his name? Alex then? Because Alexa was like Alexa comes like the main boss at the end.
Yeah, she does.
Because her and Wesker have that little fight, don't they?
Yes.
They have that little fight. Then after that little fight, you got to fight Alexa. Because Wesker goes, yeah, I'm off. He literally leaves and says, yeah, I'm not having none of that. It's all down to you. So I think you
Alfred was Alfred.
Alfred.
He was the really smart dressed one.
Yeah. Because at first he dresses as his sister because he does like two. He pretends to be both.
Yes.
Then later on, obviously, you find out his sister's like, oh, is it the C-virus, G-virus, C-virus?
I can't remember. Yeah, cause she does have a mutation.
Yeah, she's part of another virus. So it can look like a plant. It's again sort of similar to like a plant virus sort of thing.
Yeah.
But overall, the game is great.
Great game's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I am honestly like when the remake comes out, I am going to be streaming the living daylights out of it, and that's going to be my go-to game for a while. So if you see my beard growing down to my toes, my hair is all over the place. That's why. But yeah, for me, it's 10 out of 10, and it's such a memory for me, a childhood memories, and yeah, no, 10 out of 10.
For me, where I ain't played it as much as the others, I'll give it 1 out of 10. That's a joke.
I was about to unfriend you. I was about to report you.
No, since I haven't played it that much as the others, I'll probably give it, from my experience, an 8 out of 10.
That's fine. That's fair.
An 8 out of 10. If I probably played it more, it'll probably go up. But I've only ever played it maybe 3 times, and the last time I played it was about 15 years ago.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
From what I can remember, I've really enjoyed it, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I'll give that to you. Right now, Resident Evil 4 and the remake. Now, personally, for me, I was quite surprised with the remake. Now, I love Resident Evil 4. It was a great game. You didn't particularly enjoy the original.
No,
from
I
what
never
I
liked
remember.
it. I never liked it.
I did, but I must admit the remake shits on the original.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah,
the remake is just magnifique.
Yeah, like, because I can sort of explain why I didn't like Resi 4. Because obviously going from being an OG Resi fan of 1, 2, and 3, playing that style, then Resi 4 come out and completely changed the style.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't like it. I generally didn't like it. I played through the game. Then I played through it, but I was still stuck in the OG Resi. That's what I sort of wanted to carry on.
Yeah, because
it makes sense now because obviously the times move on.
Yeah.
Because people don't. Obviously, that sort of style of game now is old. It's very old.
Tank controls,
and like it wouldn't really do that well in this day and age. So I see why they changed it, but obviously back then I was still fixed on that. So when I did play Resi 4, I didn't like it at all. But then the remake come out, and I have played a lot of the remake, and I really enjoyed the remake. I think it's fantastic.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I think I've got nearly over 100 hours now in Resi 4 Remake. And yeah, again, the pacing of the game, incredible. Actually incredible. Characters, Leon. That's what I like about from the difference between Resi 2 and Resi 4 is Leon's how he's grown as a person.
The development of Leon, yeah.
Resi 2, he's very rookie kid, still a bit green, still a bit green. And you got Resi 4 Leon, who's hardened, and you can see it as well. He's hardened, and he's always doing those little one-liners as well. By himself, no one else is around. He does little one-liners.
Yeah,
but he's a lot more hardened now, and he's not that rookie kid anymore.
Yeah,
especially when he gets to meet Ada again. He's a lot more harder towards Ada, and he's not like green and like rookie.
Yeah.
So Ada can't really sort of take the advantage like she did in Resi 2.
Yeah.
The parry mechanic, I thought was a fantastic addition. Like, it flowed with the game so well. Like, really well. Especially some of the fights, like later on, spoilers. Like Krauser, the Krauser fight.
Yeah.
Because you fight Krauser twice. One of them is an actual knife fight, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was quite unique. And I'm pretty sure also getting the original as well, but then you fight Krauser again when he mutates. And like the parries, when you do parries attacks, and that's really good, like really good. Especially there's a lot of enemies you can just parry, and against the chainsaw enemies as well, it gives you sort of a bit of a counterplay, because obviously you can have the little chainsaw knife battle.
Yeah,
with it. But like again, I never used to like the original, but played the remake, and I actually love the remake.
Yeah,
like love it. Like I always said, the Resi 2 remake is probably my favourite. I'll say Resi 4 remakes on par with it.
Yeah, not easily
on par, because it's just great. Like pacing, the bosses, everything. Even like the little mini games how they got in there with the shooting range.
Yeah,
that's always fun to do.
Yeah, because that was the thing. So when I heard that there was a Resi 4 remake, I was concerned for that, and I heard obviously that you were going to stream it. So I thought I'd watch a stream and watch the gameplay. I was astonished on how good it looked. So then that's when I decided to stream it. Please don't copyright me, mate.
Too late.
And yet, the game is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's one of those rare games where a game that's so old and has quite a recent remake, you don't really need to play the original. You can just start from the remake. But yeah, easily for me, 10 out of 10.
There's one thing that Mango's saying, like the remake never had the U3.
Yeah.
But the U3 comes in the DLC in separate ways, I'm pretty sure. Because in the original you fought both. You fought the U3 anyway, but now in the DLC you fight against Ada. But even that's a good fight, by the way. Have you played DLC?
I haven't played the DLC. I've seen footage, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, DLC's really good. It's just about 4 or 5 hours long.
Yeah, because you start off in the castle.
You start off as you get off the radio to Wesker. And I think we just meet Leon. Then you do. I think that we start off.
Because don't you get rescued by Carlos?
No, Carlos ain't Resi 4, was he?
Oh not. What's his name? Ruiz.
Yeah, Louise. Yeah.
Yeah.
You rescue Louise at the beginning. Yeah,
you rescue him or he rescues you?
No, you rescue him. Ada rescues him. That's where it starts. Yeah. That's where it starts for you. I've only played DLC once, so I can't really remember it top mid. But it's a great DLC, I do recommend it. And it's only £8, I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's only £8. Like the actual DLC. It's really good. And you can get 4 or 5 hours out of it. And it shows you like Ada's. It shows you little bits and pieces as well, with like little bits with Leon. Like, spoiler. When Leon's doing the village fight at the beginning, obviously you got to hold off the horde until the bell rings.
Yeah.
Out of the bell rings is Ada rings the bell for him.
Yeah, she shoots him.
She saves Leon, which in the DLC you do. So it shows you all the little parts and bits and pieces all through the game.
Yeah.
Which Ada sort of helps Leon all the way through. Which
Because
again,
like from what I saw, Leon, because when you play as Leon, you start off in the village, heading your way towards the castle.
mm,
With Ada, it's the other way around.
yeah,
She's sort of coming in between,
yeah,
which I thought was a really cool perspective.
yeah. Because it
Uh,
adds more to the story as well. 'Cause you see both sides
yeah,
of like, okay, what was Ada doing this time when Leon was take on hordes of like villagers? I mean, it
yeah.
shows you a lot, and again, it adds more content. And I don't know if it's actually again original. I only played it like once. I don't know if there's
Mm.
actual DLC for the original or not.
I,
No,
ca-
that's
I
it.
can't remember there
Well,
being.
I've never. Again, I only played the original once because I never liked it. So I don't know
Yeah,
if the DLC was in the original or not. Not 100% sure.
yeah. No, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, remake easily 10 out of 10.
Yeah, by far. Like again, I'll put it on par with Resi 2 remake. Like
Hmm.
it could potentially be one of the probably the best remake ever made.
Yeah,
Because it just took for me. I didn't like the original in the slightest into loving the remake. So they've done a
yeah.
phenomenal job of it. Shame couldn't do it with Resi 3, but
Yeah, and you know what? I was glad that you, because obviously in your stream when you stream Resi 4, I was glad that you said you enjoyed it because I
Mm,
I enjoyed the original Resi 4, and I was gutted to hear that you didn't enjoy it. But I could understand, back in the OGs, you had all
mm,
the tank controls, stuff like that, and it was a massive overhaul coming into Resi 4. But I was really glad that you enjoyed the remake.
yeah.
Um, and I'm glad I bloody played it and streamed it as well because I had a will of a time. But yeah, no, easy 10 out of 10. Now the next one is Revelations. I've never played the main game of Revelations. I played a demo
All
of it.
right.
And if I can remember, it was on the 360, and you start off as Jill in like some scuba diving suit,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
And you're in a ship, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. The whole thing's on the ship. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy it at all.
It was
I
all
didn't.
right. It wasn't again. It wasn't like terrible. Like if it's on sale for a couple of quid, there it's fine. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, it wasn't like a great game. It was the enemies were quite unique. Like it's sort of like the sea. It's sort of like sea theme, obviously because you're on a boat. But
yeah.
the enemies were quite unique. Again, I only played through it once. Yeah, once. So I can
Mm.
always remember the last boss, who was just like teleport. Like it was just like teleport around the place
All
and
right.
go
Okay.
invisible and teleport. And it was a pain in the backside to try and kill him. But yeah, like of I wouldn't rate it too high at all.
No, I
Revelations.
personally, I didn't enjoy it at all because I believe that there was, is it like episodes or something?
The first one wasn't. The second one was. The second one they did
Oh, is it?
was episode based. Yeah, and that's when you
All
had
right.
like
Okay.
Barry Burton and his daughter and Claire was in Revelations 2 as well.
Hmm.
But it's the first and the only game I'm pretty sure they tried to do it like in episodes because it didn't really work.
Yeah.
Because it's not really the style of Resident Evil bringing it out in
Yeah.
episodes. And again, I didn't really play through Revelations 2. I think I've done one episode and that was it.
Yeah. I done one and I
Mm.
didn't enjoy that either. For me, I really didn't enjoy Revelations. Don't get me wrong, it's a playable game. It's not buggy or anything like that, but I personally didn't like it. So for me, I'd probably say about 3, 4 out of 10
Yeah,
personally.
I agree with that. It's not great. Again, if it's
Yeah.
on sale for like a couple of quid, pick up, play it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
So at least you can say you played it.
yeah, like, you can see what it's like. If like I wouldn't pay more than like a tenner for it at all,
Yeah.
but you ain't gonna miss out on much either if you don't play it. So
Yeah. Mine and your favorite game, Resi 5.
oh well, yeah.
Now, with Resi 5, the first time I played this was with an old mate of mine on his 360 in his living room. I had a whale of a time on the first mission when you're actually when you're introduced
Yeah,
to the African people. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was quite sketchy as well. and it was quite controversial as well when they came out. It did receive a hell of a lot of backlash. As soon as you sort of complete the bit where when you're in the village, for me, it just goes downhill
Yeah,
rapidly.
like to me, I don't really rate it as a Resident Evil. Like
Me either.
it's a
It's more
fun,
of a meme.
it's a fun little co-op game if you want to pick it up, have a little fun. Like
Yeah.
to me, I wouldn't class it as a Resident Evil in the slightest. I
No.
know it's got Chris in it, but that's the only thing that really makes it Resident Evil is Chris and Wesker, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jill's in it for a little bit, but
For a little bit, yeah.
But I personally won't class it as a Resident Evil at all.
Yeah.
Like,
And unfortunately, it's got it in the name, so
yeah,
we're gonna have to
it could
consider
have definitely been a side game. Like,
Oh yeah, easily.
because it is just a meme, that game. Because obviously Chris punches a boulder.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally punches a boulder.
And you fight in a volcano at the end for the lava and all this, and it's like
Yeah.
it's
like a
literally
Michael Bay movie.
it's like an anime basically. It's
Yeah.
like an anime, but yeah, I wouldn't class it as a Resident Evil at all. Like to me,
Yeah.
5. Yeah. Again, if you ain't gonna play, I wouldn't play it solo because I wouldn't do that to myself. But
No.
if you want to play it with someone, have a laugh, and yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't
Like
play
we
it
had
solo.
we had a laugh.
Yeah.
No. Like we had a laugh. But any game you could have a laugh with friends,
Yeah.
bloody Tetris, for example. But yeah, it's not a good game. It really isn't. I would probably rate it lower than Revelations from my experience. With friends, you could probably bump up to like a 4, maybe a 5 out of 10. But if you're gonna play a solo, it's probably like a 2.
Yeah, I'll probably get about 3, like
Yeah.
2, 3 around that area. It's not great.
Yeah.
And well, the next one is, I'd say, it's worse than 5.
What's that?
Resi 6.
6. So yeah, Resi 6, it is awful. Even I don't know if you know about this. So loads of fans were picking it apart on the logo. So the number 6, it's very unique.
Yeah, it's very sus. Yeah, it's very sus.
Yeah, it involves a giraffe. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so with Resi 6, you've got 3 storylines. You've got Leon, and I can never remember her name.
Helen.
Ellen, yeah. Ellen DeGeneres. Then you've got Chris, and you've got Jake, which is Wesker's son, which is a unique aspect. And it's not Cheryl. Is it Cheryl?
Yeah, it's Cheryl. Because
it's
with
Cheryl.
Chris, you got Piers,
Yes.
and with Jake, you got Cheryl. Oh, Sherry, sorry, not Cheryl.
Sherry, yeah.
Yeah, Sherry, not Cheryl.
Yeah.
Always does that, and always calls it Cheryl.
Yeah.
Her name's Sherry.
Yeah, so out of the 3 campaigns, like, don't get me wrong, they're all terrible.
Yeah, awful.
The better one out of the terrible bunch is probably Leon's.
Yeah.
Leon sort of does almost give an element of the sort of original survival horror, and then you quickly realize it doesn't, like, after 15 minutes. I hated the Jake campaign. I despised it.
I like the enemy in it.
What,
the main monster that's chasing you? I did like that.
It was a cool concept, but
I think it's called the Ushaka or something.
Oh, I can't.
Someone can correct me. It's like you something it's called, but it was really. I like that part of it, but that's it.
Yeah, but my blood boils when I think of Resi 6. It really does.
It's awful because I can always remember when it first came out. You know what they said when they released it? They made it a really action-packed to try and draw the Call of Duty fan base to Resident Evil. And that's what they said. That I can never forget that.
Yeah.
And I played it, and I was like, "You ain't drawing no one in with that."
Yeah, not even the OG fans.
No, it was awful.
Yeah, I regretted buying it when it first came out. I really did.
Well, that's the thing. I've got the platinum trophy for it on PlayStation. Because me and my mate we thought, I know what we just do. Even had online trophies.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, to go online. It took a while because it was like 3 people playing.
Yeah.
But got it though.
Yeah. But yeah, like if you're gonna play it, out of all the campaigns, just stick to Leon's. The I would say the first quarter of Leon's campaign is somewhat interesting, but then it just
Yeah,
dumbs down really
yeah.
quick, really, really quick. For me, 1 out of 10, possibly even a 0. It's honestly, it's shocking.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 2. Like 2
You're
maybe.
gonna give it a 2?
Yeah, I'll give it a 2, why not?
Oh no, I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna give it a 1. Um, Resident Evil Biohazard.
It's really
Now
7,
this
right?
Resi 7,
Yeah,
yeah.
Red 7.
Now this sort of flipped Resident Evil on his head in regards to mechanics, play style, this and
Yeah.
that, blah blah blah, because they introduced first person. Um, I enjoyed Biohazard when it first came out. I thought it was quite interesting. A new sort of story with a mixture of one old character coming in. There's only one segment I didn't enjoy. That was the boat.
Yeah, the boat. Yeah, at the end, that's annoying. That is.
I just
Yeah.
found that just. In fact, I felt they rushed, and it was just an excuse to slow down the game.
Yeah, like to me as well, like, Resi 7 and a whole should have been a side game.
It should have been,
It should
yeah.
have been a spin off because they introduced some random guy called Ethan Winters who's got no training, to use a gun or anything. I'm pretty sure he's like an architect or an engineer or something like that.
Or something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then
like,
to me, it could have been a side game,
yeah,
not on the main
no,
line at all.
yeah, and the story didn't make sense like straight from the beginning. So, spoiler: you receive a video from your partner Mia, I think her name is,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Oh, Ethan, don't come looking for me. If you want to, this is where I am."
Yeah, basically.
And I'm,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what's the point?
Mm-mm.
Like, but again, it's got an interesting sort of lore, I guess, with is it Evelyn?
Evelyn, yeah.
Yeah. FYI, the new Resident Evil is going to tie in with Evelyn as well. Resi 9. Don't know if you know about
No, I just
that.
found that out now. No.
Yeah, it's gonna be linked with the most recent movie that came out with Resi, and the movie's actually quite good. But it's like an animated movie. I do recommend it though; it's actually really good. But yeah, I found it interesting. There was a couple of jump scares there and here and there, but overall the game is, eh,
Yeah, it's very like yeah. A lot of people
yeah,
loved it though. Like generally, a lot of people say it saved Resident Evil. I can see
no,
why. Like I can see it going from 6. Like
oh yeah, oh yeah,
if you
well,
compare if you compare it to 6, it's like a 10 out of 10. But
yeah,
like yeah, like to me, it could have been again. It could have been a spin-off side game
yeah,
instead of been in the main line because again, Ethan Winters. What's he got to do with the story?
yeah. I For me, the best aspect of Biohazard was the 3 mini bosses, if you want to call them, because you had Jack. I can never remember the son's name.
Lucas.
Like his little sort
Yeah,
of
Lucas. I'm pretty sure his name is.
yeah, his little mini game things you would have to play.
Mm.
I thought they were interesting. Um, and then you had a really sus one with the mum.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to shoot in a very specific area.
yeah. It's not the most pleasant place to look either.
No, it's not. It's very. It makes you just go, oh.
Mm.
But yeah, like it had an interesting concept, to a certain degree. But yeah, the game is, it's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Like again, I've played it a few times,
Yeah,
but
I played it a few times.
like, do I go? Oh, I fancy playing Resi 7? No, I'd rather go
Yeah,
play like 1, 2, 3, or 4.
yeah,
Personally, I'm gonna play
yeah,
them. Again, I just got no interest in the character. I don't know like Ethan Winters, and you don't really know much about him apart from you don't even see his face as well.
no,
Don't even see his face. So again, a lot of people loved Resi 7 because
yeah,
obviously it did change it. They went from more like a horror, like
they did,
scare
yeah,
you, especially at the beginning in the house. And so went for that horror, like get the scares in
yeah,
aspect. And I can see why a lot of people liked it, but for me, it was alright. Like it was alright. I wouldn't say it's like terrible. I
yeah,
wouldn't say it's like one of the better Resident Evils either. Because again,
yeah,
to me, I'd have made it as a side game personally.
Yeah. Interesting fact as well. With Biohazard. It was the first game my partner bought for me, and we was only together for a couple of months. And she wanted to watch me play it because she knew I would scream, which I did when Mia came crawling up the stairs. Um, but yeah, it's an alright game. It's a playable game. I would probably give it like a 5 out of 10, a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll
So
agree to 5. I'll agree to
yeah,
5. Like again, I'll say it's bang down the middle. If it
yeah,
was a bit more like instead of like Ethan Winters, it was like I don't know, maybe Rebecca or someone like that.
mm,
Someone that's not been in for a while.
yeah,
Maybe would have bumped it up. You know what I mean? But
yeah. And literally, the only Resident Evil like OG character you do see is Chris, and that's towards
yeah.
the end, and he
And
looks nothing like Chris.
yeah, I know they changed his face model about 5,000 times at this point, so don't know who Chris is anymore. Don't know what he looks
No,
like.
no. Um, but yeah, 5 out of 10.
Mm.
It's playable. It's enjoyable to a certain degree. But yeah, that boat section was
Yeah,
just mundane.
yeah,
It really was. Village. Now, Village had massive hype.
yeah. Because obviously one
Especially
certain character
Lady
who had
Dimitrescu
massive,
personalities.
indeed.
Yes. Again, it's following off Biohazard. You playing as Ethan Winters. You rescue Mia. Spoiler alert. You start a little happy family, and then it all goes down the shit creek, basically. So you go to try and find your daughter. I can never remember the daughter's name.
Rose.
Rose, that's the one. Yeah, so you go to find her. Lo and behold, you're in like some sort of I don't even know what country it is.
Romania, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're in Romania.
And yeah, you on your way to the mansion slash cat. Well, it's more of a castle than anything. And then yeah, you meet some quite intriguing creatures, less zombie orientated, more
Yeah,
sort of
they were like werewolves, and they
yeah,
because how it's supposed to work is like the mycelium, mega mycelium, I'm pretty sure it's called, can create anything from memory. Like if it's been part of it, it can create things. So at some
yeah,
point, it was probably like a wolf or something, and it's obviously humans probably mixed it and it's made like werewolves.
yeah,
Because it does play
and
on that aspect of werewolves, and obviously you got the vampire aspect
yeah,
as well, with obviously Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters being in the vampire, like sort of, but they're not actually vampires though. They're
yeah.
bio weapons.
Yeah, no, Kix is correct. Yeah, it's a Megamycete.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, it's very similar to Biohazard in regards to the playstyle. I found it less of the horror factor, more the action side. It did lean more towards that,
Yeah,
but I did find it more. It was more puzzle based as well.
yeah,
Um,
had a few little bit of puzzles, especially in the castle section. Had a
yeah,
little bit of puzzles. They weren't too hard, but
yeah.
still puzzles.
They did have some unique factors though, especially with like the mini bosses you had. There was one that sort of traumatized me a little bit. When you go into the little doll,
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah. Uh, what's her name? Donatello.
it's
Something like that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, isn't
No,
it?
what's her name? It's something like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I know just what you're on about the little doll. I didn't really like that section.
yeah, I didn't, and especially it is that section when you come across that uh
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, thought so. Donna Benevento.
That's the one.
Thank you, Kext. Yeah. I probably I enjoyed Village. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. The characters were interesting to a certain degree, mainly because of Lady Dimitrescu. But I did find it sort of lost it a little bit. Towards the sort of
Yeah, because
middle to
all the
end.
rest of them are like boring.
Yeah,
Like
because you had
Heisenberg,
that.
the Heisenberg to me wasn't interesting in Sloyus.
No, not at all.
Just some guy with a hammer. It was basically he was like Magneto.
He
Basically,
was.
he was
Yeah,
basically Magneto. He teamed with Magneto pretty much.
yeah, and yeah, he was boring. You had the one that sort of hunchback fish thing.
Yeah, I forget his
He
name now.
I don't know. You
Morello.
sort of Morello, is it?
I think his name's Morello. I think.
Because like you sort of start to feel sorry for him to a certain degree because he's always trying to prove a point to
Yeah.
Mother and Lady Dimitrescu and stuff like that. But again, you don't really feel anything for the characters. You sort of feel sort of not guilt. What's the word? Sorrow for Ethan, especially towards the end, when everything starts to happen, and unfortunately, spoiler alert, Ethan starts to pass, and he sort of rescues Rose. And then there's the DLC for Rose itself, when Rose is sort of in her mid to late teens, and she goes back to
Yeah.
to the castle. I thought the DLC was all right.
I
I
never
thought the
played it.
DLC was.
I
I
actually
thought
never
it was
played it.
all right. I thought it was all right. It got a little bit weird because Rose has now got magical powers,
All right.
which which I found a little bit
All
strange.
right.
Um,
Following the movies, are they?
um, and another section as well with Village that lost me a bit, and I didn't find it necessary, and I just found it weird. Was when Ethan was on the sort of or the tank thing when he went up
Oh
against
yeah. I think
Heisenberg.
the Timu Magneto. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Am I still playing the Resident Evil game here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on."
Because by coincidence, the thing what made a metal. I can't even speak
Yeah,
anymore. Metal. So obviously Heisenberg couldn't control it.
yeah,
So how convenient, because Chris was building it as well. So
yeah. He was, yeah,
yeah, well everything's going on. Chris is down in the bottom of the little dungeon thing, building those little tank
yeah,
for Ethan. So it's like, oh, lovely.
yeah. I just found it sort of lost its pace. It sort of lost its character, and
Yeah,
it didn't know what he wanted to become at the end.
it's just I don't know. Like again, I didn't care for the characters. Again,
Yeah,
if it was like Leon or like Claire, you know what I mean, there's something that'd be totally different because you care for those characters because they've been in the series for 20 odd years.
yeah,
Where you got like Ethan Winters who just turns up one day, got lost on his way to Morrison's or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like to me again, Resi 8 could have been a side game, perfect side
yeah,
game, like nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
Again, to me, not a mainline Resident Evil game
No,
because again they do tie in a little bit towards Resi 8. At the end, it does tie in a little bit to the
hmm
actual Resident Evil story because that's where Ashford actually, because he was like a student of Mother Miranda.
he was. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he wanted to go and create his own like virus, which he did. So it does tie in that tiny bit, but for me, not enough to warrant it
yeah,
be in mainline Resident Evil game. Obviously, people can
yeah,
disagree, perfectly fine. But I just think it should have been in the main. Like they should keep the main to the main characters: Leon, like Chris, Leon, Claire. You know what I mean? All them, Jill.
the
Just keep it.
OGs.
Yeah, just keep
Yeah,
it that. Then on the side, have it tie in, like perfect to tie it in. But
yeah,
to me again, yeah, like if I give Village out of 10, I'd probably give it the same as 7, about 5,
yeah. 5. Yeah,
about 5. Because then again, I don't really want to go back and play it.
yeah. And there's no real reason to. You don't really learn about the Resident Evil lore.
Yeah,
You really don't, because you've clearly got the Resident Evil branch,
mm.
and with Biohazard Village, it could easily just branch off, but for
Yeah,
some reason they're trying to include it into the branch,
yeah.
and it just doesn't suit it at all.
No, no, I don't think they should just kept it the main line, like the viruses
Yeah,
and just the mainline characters. Then on the side, like they done with Code Veronica and like
yeah,
Zero, all those other games, they could just done that with it, and it'd have been
yeah,
perfectly fine.
yeah. But yeah, obviously that's all the Resident Evil games that's currently been released to date. Number 9 is coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year. I'm hoping it's this year.
No one knows yet. I reckon it's
Um,
probably, hopefully it's gonna be late this year.
yeah.
Hopefully,
From what I know and what's been confirmed, so for the first time ever in Resi history, Leon and Jill are
yep,
actually gonna be together.
yeah,
From what I know, it's based on an island, like a sort of resort island to a
Okay.
certain degree, like a facility.
Mm.
And it's gonna have the Mega My Seat
Okay.
story in it. And then obviously things happen.
Yeah.
Zombies come back, blah 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 blah. I'm really excited for it. I pray that the same team that made the Resi 2 remake and Resi 4 remake have, even if they are able just to touch it and work their magic, if they can do that, I think the game's going to be easy 10 out of 10, but they just need to nail it.
Yeah. Again, they just need to make it interesting as well. And
They do, yeah.
like, again, like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get my hopes up myself.
Yeah.
Because again, I've been wanting Leon back for a while in a game because he hasn't been back in the main game for since 6, and 6 was it's terrible.
Yeah, we don't talk about 6.
We don't talk about 6 round here. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't assist. Like, to me, 5 and 6 don't assist. They're just like random games.
I still can't get over you platinum day.
I know, yeah. I platinumed it. Shouldn't have done, but I did.
Yeah.
But like, again, I hope they just again nail it. Like what they've done with the remakes, like Resi 4, Resi 2. That's what I'm hoping because I'm craving for that another new Resi game.
Yeah.
Like a brand new experience.
Yeah.
Like fresh, interesting. Especially like Leon and Jill. It's going to be like modern day, so they're going to be older now.
Yeah,
they're
they
going to
are.
be in the 50s, and like I think Chris is going to be in his 60s if he's even in it.
They'll be walking around with Zimmer frames.
Basically, yeah. So like, this could be like potentially the last one.
Yeah,
Like,
potentially. Yeah,
especially with Leon and Jill because they are getting on in age in the story. Because in Resi 1, Jill is 21, I believe.
Yeah.
I think Chris is 24, 25. So it's been like 30 years, so they're all going to be in their 50s, nearly 60s at this point. Not too sure how old Leon is in Resi 2. He's got to be probably 20, around that, like 18 minimum, 20.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because he's a rookie.
Yeah, so he's gonna be getting on now. So potentially in the story wise, this could be it for Leon and Jill.
Yeah,
and if it is, it goes out. Obviously, it go out well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just praying because like overall, like we've just gone like we've just named the main games of the Resident Evil branch. They are loads of
there's
other.
loads.
There's loads. I think the worst one out of the sort of branch ones that I've physically seen is I think it's either is it Chronicles?
Chronicles, yeah, I've played Chronicles. It's on the Wii.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was on the Wii. Yeah, it was like Time Crisis. Like,
oh, was it?
Yeah, you aim like that. You had crosshairs.
Oh no, it wasn't Chronicles then. It was one, and I only saw it on YouTube. It was pure multiplayer. There was no story. It was just pure multiplayer.
Oh, Resistance.
It might have been that, and it was like just looking at it, it was horrific.
Or was it Umbrella Corps? Because they've done a couple.
Umbrella Corps.
Umbrella
That's
Corps.
it.
Yeah, because they've done a couple.
Yeah, because you had to pay £5 for a blue skin. That was it.
Yeah.
Like,
I played Umbrella Corps.
Yeah.
My mate was in the top 50 in the world at one point. But again, there was only like 100 people playing this.
Yeah.
So it went hard. But we was in like the top 50 at one point. Yeah. But again, it wasn't like hard because it was like, again, like 20 people playing it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, those games we don't talk about. Those games don't count. But yeah, I overall, I love Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite games of all time. They've made some cracking games, especially more recently than they have.
I've got one question to ask you now. If you had to pick one Resident Evil, and that's the only one you could ever play again, what one would you pick?
That's cruel. You're gonna have to come back to me on that. What's your one?
I've been thinking myself. Mine would either be Resi 2 remake or Resi 4 remake. Could be one of them.
For me, let's say if Code Veronica 2 is just as good. Like the remake is
Remake,
just
yeah.
as good compared to like Resi
Mm.
2 and Resi 4. For me, it would be Resi 2 or Code Veronica. But I would, for personal reasons, I would probably lean more Code Veronica.
Veronica. I would probably pick. Oh,
It's hard, isn't
it
it?
is, yeah. Because like, either or, if I pick Resi 2 remake or Resi 4 remake, I'll be happy. Because
I
like again, I didn't like the original Resi 4, but the remake I actually love it. Like I recently played through it again for a reason. You will find out. But
yeah,
again, I loved every minute of it. Loved it. Played
I
through it again, and again
if
Resi 2 when I've done Leon's thing.
yeah,
Loved it playing through it.
I think if I had to, if it was me, if I never played like Code Veronica, for
Mm.
example, if I had to pick Resi 2 remake or Resi 4, for me replayability, I would probably pick Resi 2.
Yeah, it does obviously because you got like multiple stories.
Yeah, because you got Leon A. Do you
Mm.
have Leon B?
Yeah, you got Leon A, Leon
Yeah.
B, Claire A, Claire B.
So that's automatically 4 playthroughs.
Yeah.
So for me, in regards to replayability, I think Resi 2 has the upper hand.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that. No, but then again, like Resi 4 remake, so good. It's like,
It is.
It is
It is
so
good.
good.
It is good.
It is fun. If I had to pick, I'd probably would pick Resi 4 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would go Resi 4 remake at this point.
And I know how much you love the Resi 2
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah,
So
because
that does say a
either
lot.
way, if I got at random, if it's random, out of those two, whatever one come out, I'll be happy with. So,
Yeah.
but if I had to pick, it probably would be 4
Yeah.
because I do like. I mean, I love it. So
I can't believe you asked such a cruel
I
question.
just thought of it in my head then.
That was that was so hard.
Yeah.
All right, and what's I'll do a question for you then. Out of all the Resident Evil characters, the OG,
Mm.
pick 2. I'm not going to be too cruel. I'm not going to
All right.
make you pick 1. Pick 2. That is your personal favorite.
Leon Jill.
Mine's Leon Clay.
Yeah, Leon Jill. Those two will always be my favorite.
Yeah.
Never. I don't get me wrong. I like Chris, but I've never been a massive fan of Chris. Like I've always been Leon and
Yeah.
Jill. Always Leon and Jill.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I love Code Veronica. Clay was in it. I fell in love with her, and then obviously with Leon as well. I'm a massive Leon S. Kennedy fan, so yeah, Leon and Clay. I used to like Chris, but every time I think of Chris, I can't help myself but think of the boulder.
Yeah, it sort of like ruined his credibility a bit. Like,
It did.
They made a meme out of him, and it's like
Yeah,
lovely, fantastic.
they gave him steroids, and then he started punching.
It's boulders. He's like, yeah, right, they'll just punch a boulder thrown towards me. It's like, oh, cool. Like,
yeah, and because for me as well, like with Leon especially, yeah, his face has changed quite a few times, but overall characteristics and his character look, it's always stayed the same.
And like,
With
the remake Leon now is like really good, and they've kept with it as well. Like, they just made him a bit older and a bit more mature, especially with the voice acting. The voice acting's really good.
It is.
You can tell like the younger Leon, and obviously then the voice actor comes back in and makes it more harder. Leon makes it more believable because that's how you make a character as the voice actor, and it sort of brings it alive. I don't care what the character looks like; they can look the most like amazing character ever. But if the voice acting's terrible, the character doesn't come alive. So
yeah, like imagine Leon now, right, all rugged up, he's all cut up, and he's just going, "Hey there, hello."
Yeah, basically,
like,
yeah.
He's still got
He's still got Resi 2 voice, basically.
Yeah,
not been like sort of hardened and seasoned.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It like the actual voice actor comes into a massive play, and even the dialogue as well. The actual writing team, they play a massive part.
Oh, because as well they made a massive decision, didn't they? Because in Resi 2, Ada is a different voice actor. Well, Resi 4, Ada's a different voice actor.
Yeah,
but I think both of them do an amazing job. Because at first I didn't really like the Ada voice actor for the new Resi 4, but more I played it, I realised it really suits the character. Actually, the voice it really suits.
It grows on you as well.
Yeah, it really suits. So they've done a good job picking that voice actor.
Right now we might as well rip the band-aid off. We might as well get this out of the way. The Resident Evil movies. Now we're not including any sort of TV shows because the most recent TV show, I despised.
yeah, don't exist. That don't
That
exist.
was horrific.
Yeah, that was so bad.
All the animated ones, because I don't think you've seen any of
I've
them.
watched one of them.
Which one did you watch?
Damnation, I think it's called. I think it's called Damnation.
Is that the one is that the one when they're in like Moscow or something?
So some of it, yeah.
Yeah, because because I can't remember if it's Leon or Chris, because you have the
I think they're both in it. I want to say they're both in it. I could be wrong. It was years ago.
Yeah, because you had that scene with the two tyrants.
Yeah.
In the like sort of main plaza outdoor bit. Yeah. I quite like the animated films, in fairness. And the newer one as well is basically going to be Resi 9, and it's a decent film, so I do recommend it. No,
it's on Netflix.
No, I had to watch it on the old dodgy stick. Right, so there's been 6 made. Out of all the 6, the only one I would probably recommend to watch is the first one. The first one's actually all right.
I mean, the second one, Apocalypse, isn't terrible.
It's not terrible,
but it's not good.
No, it's not. It's got more that tongue in cheek.
Yeah, because it does nods to Free.
Yeah,
because it's all like nods to Free, and like Jill Valentine's a side character in it.
yeah. Right. So yeah, we might as well set the foundation. So for some of you that have never watched the Resident Evil movies, obviously you've just heard us for the last hour and 20 minutes talk about Jill, Chris, Leon, Ada, stuff like that. So none of those are the main protagonist in the Resi films. None of them.
No.
There's only one main protagonist, and it's, you ready? Alice. I bet you knew that was coming. No. So Alice, she's like a unique specimen of a human, I guess. She has abilities. Don't get me wrong. She's not, she doesn't mind control well until a certain film.
She does.
But yeah, the first Resident Evil, I think it's quite a good film. It's quite decent.
Yeah. It's got a good setting because it sort of stays to the horror.
It does.
And then like the desperation because they're trapped underground, no way out, and there's like hundreds of zombies around them. It sort of creates that sort of horror aspect to it. So it is very decent as a movie. I do give them that the first one is a good watch.
Yeah. Especially with the elevator scene as well. Yeah. I thought that was quite cool. And then you had Resi Apocalypse, which is the second one.
Yeah, it sort of mashes like Resi 2 and Resi 3 together, but not well.
No, not well, no.
Because Jill's a side character. I can't remember it. Jill Valentine.
And she's played. I thought she was played by the same person that's in Friends that plays as Veronica.
No. They look the same, but they're not.
Yeah. But some of the characters are somewhat interesting. For me, Nemesis is in it as well. And he does do the iconic stars.
And they do one thing wrong that really annoys me because I am a nerd. Stars, right, in the movies is Special Tactics and Rescue Squad.
So, yes, and they put it as service, don't they?
No. In the movie, it's squad. In the actual game, it's service.
Service, yeah.
Yeah. But in the movies, they panicking. Yeah, no. But in the movies, they call it squad. And it
it's service.
As the Resi nerd, it gets on my tits. Basically, it annoys me.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
it annoys me so much.
Yeah, because like when I said services and you said squad, I was like, oh my god, I just said it wrong. But no, that's fine. But yeah, it's a watchable film. There's quite a decent amount of tongue in cheek jokes.
Yeah, because you got his name, is it CJ or was it TJ?
I think it's TJ.
I think it might be TJ. Yeah, because it's Terrence. Yeah, it's Terrence Jones. I think his name, but they call him TJ, and he's got a few like funny moments.
Oh, sorry, my headset's just died. I'm having some technical difficulties.
He's got no ears. When he runs over the zombie, he goes GTA 10 points, and he has little funny moments. And he's got 2 gold Desert Eagles, and there's some like again, tongue-in-cheek moments, but then again, like, he's not part of any Resident Evil
No.
in the slightest. But and like Nemesis is cool until the ending. We won't say much about the ending because it's I can't. That ending is
Yeah.
terrible. I'm sorry, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
Basically, Nemesis gets taken out by a helicopter.
Yeah, it's just crushed.
And it's like, have you ever played any of the games? Do you think that's going to stop
Yeah.
him? No.
Yeah. I think for me, I think the strongest scene out of that entire movie is the school.
Yeah, it's a good part. Yeah.
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 I think that's when they introduce like zombie kids.
Yeah. Because
I
that
think a lot of
reporter
people
chick,
take it back.
the reporter chick gets
Oh,
caught,
my
doesn't
bloody
she?
headset's going again. I'm gonna have to get a new wire.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't like me. Hang on, bear with me.
Technical issues. He's got no ears.
I can still hear you to a certain degree. Leave me alone. Right, there we go. So yeah, the school scene for me is probably one of the strongest scenes.
Yeah,
in
because
the,
you got that reporter who gets caught by the zombie kids, and she gets snacked on,
yeah,
doesn't she?
yeah.
Then
You see
you
it from
see
the
the
perspective of
camera.
the camera.
The camera. You see the perspective of the camera. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought it was a nice touch. But yeah, now this is when it just goes.
Yeah, it dramatically goes downhill from here. Like, they're terrible. And it comes like every X-Men known to man in one, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's like X-Men, literally a pinch of salt of Resident Evil, and then Mad Max.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like X-Men,
So
Mad Max, and a tiny bit of Resident Evil. Because
yeah,
in Afterlife, Carlos turns up because he's in the second one as well, and he's in Apocalypse Carlos.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is Afterlife. So basically, for some reason, the entire world has now become a desert.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. It doesn't explain how. You do meet, I think it's Claire. I think that's the first introduction of Claire.
Again, she's a side character.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like all the main characters aside are side characters. Again, the movie sucked.
Yeah,
Absolutely sucked.
Do you know? And also, do you know it's got the? You ever seen the Mortal Kombat movie?
Yeah.
Do you know the guy who played Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
He's in Afterlife.
Is that the cowboy guy?
Yeah, it's the cowboy guy. Yeah, yeah, that's Johnny Cage. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. I think again, if we're gonna have to pick a cool scene, I think honestly, for me, the only cool scene for me was Carlos where he drives the lorry and he's already bitten and the lorry's filled with oil, fuel, and he's there just sparking up a cigarette. I thought that scene was cool. Everything else sucked. And that scene only lasted for 20 seconds.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Really don't recommend watching it. That's a 0 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, just don't watch them very much.
Yeah,
it gets worse. That's the thing from this one. It gets worse.
It does. So Afterlife. So it starts off, if I can remember, it starts off with Alice dying. And then because there's 3 Alices.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. He's come back to me.
They fly it down.
Yeah.
So they enter the hive, where you're introduced to Albert Wesker.
Yeah.
Again, the person that portrays Albert Wesker, his voice is, but the character model, it's just again, it's like if you have ordered Albert Wesker from Temu.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
He's unconvincing. He's not strong. He's not scary.
It's
to
just
a
the one
degree.
where Chris Redfield comes into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's randomly locked up somewhere and they find him on top of a building, don't they? Oh, really?
Yes. Well, so after Alice dies, another Alice is reborn, and she enters. I think it's like New York or something, via a plane. But before she gets in the plane, she finds Claire, and she's got this mind tracker thing, which is a little nod to
Resi 5.
I think it's Resi 5, with Jill. But yeah, they fly on top of a building, and there's a basketball player, there's a hustler, some like Asian guy, and someone else. but they land on top of a prison. Lo and behold, right down in the basement, for some unknown reason, Chris is in a cage.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, Chris is in a cage, and then you get introduced to one of the executioner enemies, which is for me a nod to Resi 5.
Yeah,
I thought the character design of the executioner was actually quite good. I
yeah.
thought it was quite well. Um,
There's one thing I
but
did
again,
like in all as well.
mm,
Obviously, they start using the coins as
in
ammunition.
the double barrel,
Yeah,
yeah,
because obviously ammo's getting scarce, so they start using the coins and things, which I thought was quite good actually.
it
Yeah,
was cool. I'll give that to him. But yeah, that's the only cool
yeah,
part
but
is when
basically,
Alice
yeah, yeah.
is yeah.
Oh
Lo and
yeah,
behold,
that's right.
towards
Because now it's coming back to me now because I ain't seen these movies in again like 10 years. The
yeah,
zombies start digging underground, don't they? Because they start
they
getting
do,
like
yeah.
the mouth and they start like tunneling underground and that. So yeah,
Yeah. And then towards the end, they start to fight Albert Wesker. Albert starts fighting Chris, Alice, and Clay. He manages to somehow get Clay and Chris in the isopod things. And Alice manages to defeat Wesker. Of course, she does. Um, and then you had so that's the end of the film. It's a shit show. Retribution. Um, Alice is back. Claire's back. Chris is nowhere to be seen, and Wesker is back. Um, and again, it's a shit show. There's no cool scenes for me in
is
that film.
is that the last one?
No,
No, all right.
no. There's still one more after.
Oh,
Um, So yeah, so Alice finally learns that there's multiple versions of her after finding like a. So basically, Alice goes back to the Sahara Desert where extinction happened, but then she also
okay.
finds out when she goes into the hive, there's simulations of different areas. You had like Tokyo,
Ah,
you
right,
had
right, right. I
Moscow,
think it's come
and
back
that
to me. I think it's come back to me
yeah,
now.
and that's when you get introduced to Leon, which I thought the
Oh yeah,
model of the character
yeah.
was
Leon
actually quite
Ada
good.
is there as well, believing she.
Ada's there. You had Barry as
Yeah.
well. Um, and then you had some of the original characters from the movies, not the games. From Resident Evil, the original film, you had the what's her name? She's in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I know you're on about Michelle Rodriguez. I think her name. Yeah.
Yes, she's back. Carlos is back, but now they're working for Umbrella. It's really confusing. Um, and yeah, and the film ends in a very interesting way. So towards the very end, Wesker's like, Alice, I need your help. Which you're like, oh, where's this going? And they're on top of the White House, and all of these zombies are literally
Oh, yeah, I can remember.
massive
Yeah,
charge
yeah, I can remember.
coming in. And you had all these flying creatures, and it looked badass. I must admit, it looked badass. So it did bring slight hype to the very last film, which is called Final Chapter. So you would assume at the beginning you're gonna pick up right where you left off at the White House. No, the White House is nowhere to be seen. The White House battle is nowhere to be seen in the final chapter. It's back to extinction, where Mad Max is now the new theme. It's horrifically bad. It's probably for me, it's the worst film out of the six,
Yeah,
easily.
again, I think I watched it once and I can hardly remember it. Like,
Yeah.
I can remember the ending
Hmm.
where Alice farts and a lot of
Yeah.
the zombies just start dying pretty much. And that's all I can
Yeah.
really remember from the film.
Yeah. So this film actually gave me a headache. So I watched it in cinemas, and it literally gave me a headache. So there was this one scene right at the beginning where she's in a car, and she goes up against one of these flying creatures, and it's only if it was like a real life event, it would only last for 10 seconds. But
Mm.
they drew this out over 30 seconds with 30 camera angles, so it would quickly flicker, so it would really mess up your eyes. And I'm there
All
like
right,
this,
all right. Lovely,
just trying
sounds
to watch it.
wonderful.
It was awful.
Mm.
But then they brought back the enemy, the main villain from Extinction. And then towards the end, you realize the Alice that you've been watching grow, if you want to call it that. It's not the real Alice. The real Alice is a 70-year-old woman that's been working for Umbrella. And then she turns on one of the villains, and yeah, and basically, like Metal said, Alice farts in a crater, and all the zombies are wiped out except for her, even though she's infected by the same virus. Um, yeah, so
Maybe
it doesn't
she
make
was beyond the fart. See, so she didn't know. Just went forward. Plot hole. You know what I mean?
arguably how
Plot armor.
the
Plot armor.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's how the dinosaurs became extinct. So, but yeah, highly don't recommend watching really any of them.
No.
The only one I recommend is one more
Yeah.
than out of all of them.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But yeah, it's an awful series of films, and I don't get why, because they've got the perfect formula to create probably one of the best zombie films to ever make, even a series of films. But they just don't. They don't play the game. They don't understand the law. They're like, oh, we
Well,
understand this
they're
zombies.
trying to be unique, aren't they? And trying to like create something that doesn't need to be created, pretty much.
Yeah, just stick to the formula.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just there. Just follow the games, and you can make millions in movies. Just follow the game, or
Yeah.
even a TV show. Just follow the games, and you're fine.
Yeah, you don't need to watch the films to see the law.
No,
Like the law's irrelevant in those movies.
yeah. Literally, it doesn't matter. It makes no sense to the games whatsoever. So,
Yeah.
it's literally there. All they got to do is copy and paste, and just find
Yeah.
the right actors for the right characters, and there you go, done. I could
Yeah.
make the movies probably. Like,
Yeah, we can make them better.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's gonna conclude today's episode, unless you
Yeah.
got anything else to add.
No, it's been a good one.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the flow of it has been quite good as
Mm.
well, which is nice. But yeah, obviously let us know in the comments below as well what your favorite Resident Evil characters are, and if you want to be really cruel, you can pick which Resident Evil game you could play for the rest of your life. But yeah, until then, take care, look after yourself, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Toodles.
Toodles.